All right. Greetings, everyone. I certainly appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us tonight. Definitely hit me up in the chat um, because we're about to go live right now. So, I'm hoping everything is well with you and yours. And we're going live on two fronts tonight. So, definitely, I'm hoping that you're able to tune in. Please hit me up in the chat room if that is possible. I certainly would appreciate it. Really, I do. Definitely. I feel that this is one of those shows or conversations that we need to have because of the various supreme councils that are out here. So we're going to talk in regards to uh, what is the legitimate supreme council? Who's legitimate as far as supreme councils are concerned? I know we've talked in regards to grand lodges and that sort of thing, but we really never got into the legitimacy of supreme councils. And tonight is that show. We're going to talk about the legitimacy of supreme council. So hit me up in the chat. Let me know what you think. And we're going to do this. I'm going to get off this here page real quick. And I'm going to go somewhere else. Excuse me. Pardon me, please. I'm going to get off this here. I'm going to go somewhere else real quick. But definitely, I want you to join in tonight to have this conversation because it's one to be had. A lot of individuals don't like to talk about certain things, but I believe this is going to really do us a lot of good. Just to kind of, open up a little bit. Just open up a little bit. Let's see what's happening, and we're going to go from there. That's the best thing to do sometimes. Just open up and go from there. So look, welcome once again, and we're going to talk about the legitimacy of supreme councils, ancient and accepted Scottish Rite. We hear so much about it, but how did this come to be? Who legitimized supreme councils? Who says that this supreme council is or isn't a legitimate supreme council? How are legitimate supreme councils formed? Who gives a supreme council its charter? How does this come into play when you're talking about those who choose to go up either the York Rite or Scottish Rite side of Freemasonry and receive that ultimate honorary degree of a 33rd? What is that process like? So tonight we're going to have that conversation, and we're going to have some other conversation, but we're going to start off with that one in particular. So let's look at supreme councils, especially those 5 supreme councils that organized what we would call African American supreme councils. We're going to take a look at them. First, you have the 1854 Supreme Council of King David, Philadelphia. That was David Lowry. Then you have the 1864 Supreme Council, New York. That is Peter W. Ray. Then you have the 1869 Supreme Council, Southern and Western Masonic Jurisdiction. At Washington, D.C., that's Edward G. Thomas. Then you have another Supreme Council, 1870. That's the Southern Supreme Council of Baltimore. That's Brother G. Garfin, I think that's his name, if I'm not mistaken. Lemuel G. Griffin, that's it. Lemuel G. Griffin is his name. Then we have the 1871 King Frederick's Supreme Council. That's Joshua D. Kelly. So those Supreme Councils were supposed to came together and organize the Supreme Council for the Southern. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure I say this right. I'm going to give you the logistics real quick, and then I'm going to tell you where I got it from. So there exist in this country, amongst the African American Masons, 5 supreme councils, okay? All claiming rights and authority to confer several degrees and established bodies of the ancient accepted Scottish Rite, York Rite. Only a supreme council of the York Rite and Scottish Rite Freemason can organize the supreme council. There are over 20 or more supreme councils among the African American Scottish Rite. The Supreme Council of the United States of America, its territories and independence, Grand East, New York, presided over by Peter W. Ray, 33rd, as his most puissant sovereign Grand Commander, said to have been organized in 1864 by Brian A. Hugo de Boulogne, 33rd, a member of the Supreme Council of France. Okay, That Supreme Council was of France. Then you have the Supreme Council of the Southern Jurisdiction, Grand East Baltimore, okay, presided over by Lemuel D. Griffin, 33rd, as the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander. This was organized under D. Billow Supreme Council, okay? So there's that Supreme Council organized under him. Then it says the Supreme Council for the Northern Jurisdiction, Grand East Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, presided over by the illustrious J.D. Kelly, 33rd, as the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander, known as King Frederick Supreme Council, was duly opened by the Supreme Council of the Southern Jurisdiction. Okay, then it says, here's another Supreme Council. You have the National Supreme Council, ancient accepted Scottish Rite, sovereign Grand Inspectors, okay, of North America. Most puissant sovereign Grand Commanders was Edward Chapman. Edward Chapman, at that time, was the illustrious most puissant sovereign Grand Commander. Okay, then you have the United Supreme Council, ancient accepted Scottish Rite, Freemason, 33rd. Was the Grand Commander at the time was Frederick T. Little. Okay, then let's keep going. You have, I'm telling you, then you have the Prince Hall Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Okay, you have that jurisdiction who claimed to be organized in 1871. That's their claim. Okay, but we're gonna get all into that. All right, we're gonna get all up into that. So we have those Supreme Council. Oh, let's not forget William T. Gray, most puissant sovereign Grand Commander, established in 1864. Supreme Council of the United States. This is the Western Masonic jurisdiction. We're going to get into this because what I found is these Supreme Councils that we're talking about right now, they're all legitimate. You're probably saying, how can they all, man, how can they all be legitimate? You know, but that's the truth. Look, here's what I want you to do. If you are an ancient accepted Scottish Rite Freemason, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go and get yourself a Coors Masonic Encyclopedia 1961. That's the best one out there. And look up on the Supreme Council. There is one Supreme Council in general that I did not mention in here, and that is the Supreme Council of Louisiana. Why did I not mention that Supreme Council? Because that Supreme Council alone, being in the United States, is one of the most legitimate Supreme Councils out there, period. They are. They're older than what we would call the Mother Supreme Council. They are. The idea is that they was blackballed. That's a fact. Without going through all the hoopla, the Supreme Council of Louisiana, that's the name of it, they were blackballed. Plain and simple. So you don't hear much about that particular Supreme Council, but they are just as legit as any Supreme Council. As a matter of fact, I would say that a lot of Supreme Councils came out of that Supreme Council. That's the truth. You know, quite a few Supreme Councils came out of there. You know, people can say a lot about them. You know, where did they come from? How long they've been around? The whole thing. But I would tell you that that Supreme Council is just as legit as any other Supreme Council. And that is just the truth. That Supreme Council of Louisiana is just as legit as anybody else. Before I go any further, I just want to send a big shout out. How's the progress on the United Masonic Congress? I'll speak on that. Greetings, everyone that's coming on. I'm just looking down. John Hall, I'm just calling out some names. What's up, Terrell? Hey, Terrell, I need for you to hit me up after the show, okay? Need you to hit me up after the show. What's up, Bishop? How you doing? Also, I want to send a big shout out to my brother there in Minnesota, John. What's going on with you, John? We're going to talk, John. I got you covered. I gave you my word, and that's all I got. So we're going to have that conversation, John, later on tonight. I'm sending you a big shout out, let you know I told you I was going to do it. I didn't forget you. So tonight, we're talking in regards to the legitimacy of Supreme Councils. So if you are a Mason and you are part of the ancient accepted Scottish Rite Freemason, also go read the history of the Supreme Councils in your Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2. It will shock you. I don't have to go into details here, but go read it for yourself. What I'm talking about as far as these 5 Supreme Councils, as far as the African American Supreme Councils are concerned, I'm going to tell you, all of them are legit. All of them had a rocky start. All of the Supreme Councils I just named had a rocky start. All of them. Their history is not without blemish. Okay? You can throw a rock at their Supreme Council, and I'm damn near sure you can knock it over. You can find holes in it. None of them has the claim to say they're the it factor. None of them. Plain and simple. It's too many. It's been too many splits within those Supreme Councils to say that who's who. To be honest with you, let's even take a look at what's his name? Slaughter. You can even take a look at Slaughter and his Supreme Council, because I say his Supreme Council because he's the founder of that Supreme Council. He's the it factor. Is he a legitimate Supreme Council? Of course he is. Who says that he's not? And if you're saying that he's not a legitimate Supreme Council, prove me wrong. If you're going to tell me that Slaughter doesn't have the authority, nor is he a legitimate Supreme Council, prove me wrong. By any court documents. Do you have anything besides you saying or telling someone that Slaughter isn't legit? Do you? I mean, let's really have this conversation tonight, because a lot of people would say Slaughter isn't legit. You know, a lot of people would say the Southern and Western Masonic jurisdiction is not legit. The Western Masonic jurisdiction, Scottish Rite, is not legit. Everybody have their own saying on who's not legit, but prove them wrong that they're not legit. That's all I'm saying. Who gives who the authority to say that they're not? I am part of the Western Masonic jurisdiction Supreme Council, Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite. That's the Supreme Council I'm part of. Okay? And I would dare anybody to say that we're not legit. Period. Based on what? Because there are other Supreme Councils out there that we have mutual recognition with, mutual respect, visitation rights. So all of this going back and forth in regards to Supreme Councils and who's not legit, it has no real bearing. It really doesn't. The only thing I hate in this whole thing, to be truthful with you, is the mere fact that the Supreme Council of Louisiana was blackballed. If you're going to ever talk about legitimacy, they should be at the forefront. They really should. Because as you dig into their history, you will find out that they were the only Supreme Council at one time accepting black men and assisting and aiding them on their Masonic journey. That is a fact. Well, where did you get that from, Brother Hawkins? Well, when you talk to people from that jurisdiction and they share their history with you and they can tell you where to go find it from, that's where I got it from. Okay? That's where I got it from. Talk to Brother Calvin. What's Calvin's last name? He's going to kick my rump. Can't think his last name. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he's a member of that Supreme Council, if I'm not mistaken. And as a matter of fact, if you want to go and search on YouTube, you can pull up Supreme Council of Louisiana. They have a series on various topics. I'm giving them a shout out. Because I've listened, they've shared information, they've shared documents with me. So I can only go by what I've seen for myself and getting in contact with them. That's how you do that. If you want to know something, you go to the source. You don't go by that, well, based upon what? Based upon your jurisdiction not accepting who they are, they're supposed to be, they're not legit. And that's the problem that we have in Freemasonry. Because someone don't like or respect another jurisdiction, they will consider them non-legitimate Masons or Scottish Rite Masons. And that is the nonsense that a lot of brothers deal with day in and day out. But the beauty of the organization, the love of the organization, are for those who truly trust in the process of where they're at in their jurisdiction. That is the beauty. That is the love. That is what I find when I'm dealing in Freemasonry. That's what I get out of it. Now, I can't say what somebody else does, but I can tell you what I get out of it. And that's what I find, you know. Let's see, expand menu. All right, I'm just trying to see. I'm not able to really see in the chat tonight exactly what's going on, but however, we're in it to win it, and we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on going. So, but with that being said, let me go right here. I'm gonna click that, save this. All right. Okay, I should be able to see the chat. But anyway, let's go over here. I can see it over here. Charles, greetings. All greetings, big bro Tony. I got some more stuff coming soon. I appreciate that. But with that being said, for those of you who have sent me books and I haven't had the chance to read them or share the information, I've just been on the move. As a matter of fact, this past week, I had the privilege of traveling to several states and fellowshipping with various brothers from various jurisdictions. I tell you what, it's a beautiful thing to do. I can guarantee you that. That is a beautiful thing to do, to go to several states, hang out, fellowship, and really get a feel for what Freemasonry is really and truly all about. I mean, across the board. And that's what I did this week. I hit Mississippi, Houston, Memphis, Georgia, and I came on back to California. Myself and my grandmaster, we had a wonderful time. Oh, Lafayette! Big shout out to Lafayette, Louisiana. Big shout out to Valley of the Kings 360. Had a wonderful time. Them brothers received their York Rite and Scottish Rite degrees. I'm quite sure they enjoyed the initiations. It was quite a few of them, and they enjoyed themselves. So big shout out to them. So back to the topic at hand, as far as legitimacy of the Supreme Councils. So it was claimed at one time that Prince Hall, Scottish Rite Freemasons, received their legitimacy of their Supreme Council from France. That's a lie. I said it. Let me tell you why it's a lie. Because in the deposition that was given, and that came up, your most puissant sovereign grand commander said he knew nothing about it. That's true. You can pull up his deposition that he gave during the time of him a slaughter, going back and forth through the court system. He gave a deposition, and they asked him about the legitimacy of the Supreme Council. Where did they get their charter from? And it was brought up, it was given from France, and that came out to be a lie. That is the bona fide truth. I have no need to lie. Slaughter went through the system, organized himself, did his thing, and he's off and running. He doesn't care what you think about him. He knows about his legitimacy. He's not asking someone to accept whether he is or isn't. He's doing it. And this is the thing in regards to Supreme Councils. If you have 733rds and they come together and formalize themselves as a Supreme Council because they have the degrees within their Masonic career, who's to say that they can't do that? 733rd degrees come together, they can organize a Supreme Council and call it what they want to call it. They have every right to do it because they are 33rds. They have received that honorary degree from a most puissant sovereign grand commander. And they can say, okay, you know what? Boom, I'm going to organize myself a Supreme Council. It's 733rds, right? Yes, it is. Let's go through the formation. Well, what is that formation like? You draw up your bylaws, your constitution. You set your standards for your Supreme Council. You can reach out to another Supreme Council and ask them for assistance and aid, okay? And have them to guide you along the process. Supreme Councils don't receive charters. They issue charters to the subordinate bodies. If I'm wrong, somebody can tune in and say, brother, that's not right. I'm willing to listen. But based upon the information that I have at my disposal, that's how it's done. You get yourself 7 inspector generals or more, and you can organize a Supreme Council. And there's no one that says that you can't do it. No one. There's no most puissant, there's none of them. And I'm going to share this with you. For those of you who may be seeking to receive your 33rd degree from your particular Supreme Council, I need for you to be mindful of something. How much is that going to cost you for an honorary degree? Because that's what it is. To receive a 33rd is an honorary degree. All right. How much is that going to cost you? And is it worth it? Is it worth paying $5,000, $3,000, $1,700, $1,000? Is it worth it to get your 33rd? And this is how it's done. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to share some light on this thing for you. So if you are a most puissant sovereign grand commander, right? Because that's the only way you're going to get your 33rd is through a most puissant sovereign grand commander. He has the authority to do that, right? So let's say, for instance, you are in the Supreme Council, you want to get your 33rd, it's an honorary degree, whatever your process may be to get there. Okay, now you have been accepted to receive the honorary degree of 33rd. All right, it costs you $1,000. But let's just say it costs $1,000, right? In most jurisdictions, that $1,000 goes to the most puissant sovereign grand commander. It doesn't go to your jurisdiction as a whole. It goes directly to the most puissant because he's the only one that can issue the 33rd degree. And some jurisdictions do it every 2 years, even some do it every odd year, or some may do it during the year. It depends. But I will tell you this, depends on your structure. I guarantee you this, when you pay your money to get your 33rd, it goes directly to the most puissant sovereign grand commander. So if you are part of a Supreme Council, and you're a 32nd, and you're about to get your 33rd, and it costs anywhere from $5,000 down to $1,000 to receive that 33rd, you better make damn sure it's worth it. Because when that most puissant leaves that area, that Supreme Council, wherever they have held it, oh, he rocking. He is rocking. He coming out with almost close to 100,000 in his pocket, tax-free money. That's how the game is played. I'm just putting you up on game. Some people gonna say, well, man, you talking too much. No, I want brothers of the craft to understand. When you put in for your 33rd, all right, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. Plain and simple. Are you willing to pay the price? Is it worth it? What are you getting out of it? These are the things you need to ask in the process of receiving your 33rd. Was just talking to my cable tour about this. For real, you need to ask yourself, because right now, depending on how your jurisdiction is structured, if you want to get your 33rd, you're going to have to go through the Supreme Council, for which your Grand Lodge has attached itself to. That is to say, in order for a Supreme Council to survive, you must be a Mason, a Master Mason, York Rite, Scottish Rite. It just depends on what the rules and regulations are. I will share this with you. In my jurisdiction, in order for you to receive a 33rd, you must be a Knights Templar, a 32nd, and a Shriner. You cannot get it if you're not. Okay? There is a process for you to receive your 33rd in this jurisdiction. I'm going to share with you the process. Not only do you have to be a Knights Templar, a 32nd, and a Shriner, okay, you have to fill out a resume. All right? You have to fill a resume out. What have you done in your Masonic career to push the Masons forward? What have you done? What have you accomplished, in your Masonic career? And I'm going to tell you another thing. When you become a 33rd, if you don't know this, now you know, you're going to be married to the organization. Oh, Hawkins, you're talking. No, I'm giving you some facts. If and when you decide to become a 33rd, you're going to be married to the organization. Well, how's that? You receive that ring. Triangle with 3 3s in it. Be prepared. There is a process. Now, I would tell you this from what I know personally. In some jurisdictions, they show you a play it's a play done for you when you're receiving your 33rd. It's a play. You know, there's actors, they act it all out, and then you receive your 33rd. You have a graduation ceremony. You go through all of that process. Nothing wrong with it. That's the way it's done there. Some jurisdictions, they initiate you through the whole process. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's the best way to go. But whatever way you choose to go, however your process is, just know that you're going to be held accountable to the mere fact that you are now at the cream of the crop. You are the it factor. You're supposed to be an instructor of Freemasons. Okay? You are that guy now. Okay? You wear the rank of a sovereign grand inspector general. You're supposed to be the example of what a Mason is and is not. You set the tone wherever you go. You are that guy. Because you're now married. You're now married. That's a fact. As I've said a couple of times before, there are only 2 times you're supposed to receive a Masonic ring. That is in the Lodge of Affection, LOP, and your 33rd. That's it. Those are those 2 times that you're supposed to receive a ring. So as we talk about the legitimacy of Supreme Councils, we have to understand that a Supreme Council, when it's organized and formed, is legitimate within its own right, its own constitution. It is that body of Masons. Hold on. I'm back. Had to go get some water here. It is that body of Masons. No doubt about it. So when you consider getting that 33rd, hey, I'm just saying, be prepared. You know, I mean, if you're going to take it seriously, if you're really going to take becoming a 33rd seriously, you got to be prepared for it. Because a lot of brothers who get their 33rds, they're just paying for it because they can afford it. You know, but that's not how it should be. Truly is not how it should be, but that's the way it is. A lot of guys who get their 33rd, they just pay for it. That's my cousin. I'm gonna have to call her back. I'll call you right back, cuz. Call you right back. But that's just the way it is. That is so truthful. Let's see what we got here. Class of 2020. What's going on, Williams? How you doing? So when you get your 33rd, there's an expectation that when you receive that 33rd degree, you're supposed to receive your 33rd degree ring, your sword, your sash, your crown. Okay? What does it all mean? What does having a sash, the sword and the crown and the ring, what does it all mean? Many of us don't go back and review the process of receiving these items that we get when we become a 33rd. You know, that you're supposed to receive a sword or a sword. Some, they used to, I don't know if they still do or not. In my jurisdiction, we don't give swords anymore. No, you should have that when you become a Knights Templar. Also, you should have that when you get your 32nd degree. So we don't give swords anymore. But what we do give in this jurisdiction that I'm a part of, under the ancient and scepter Scottish Rite, we give the ring, we give the crown, and we give chain collars. We don't do the sash, we do chain collars. Okay, we give that, but we ain't charging no $5,000. We ain't charging no $4,000, $3,000, $2,000, or $1,000 for that honorary degree. It's honorary. That person that receives that degree is supposed to be a Mason in high standards, one who's done the work. But we'll find that today that brothers who get their 33rd, they ain't done nothing. That's just the truth. They hadn't done a doggone thing. you know. Okay, Brother Williams, I see you. So this is what you have to consider. You know, I would tell any brother who's about to get their 33rd, read up on it from your jurisdiction. Read up on it from your jurisdiction, not somebody else's jurisdiction. Your own jurisdiction. See what it's all about in your jurisdiction and go from there. And then you can kind of get the feel for it, the flavor for it, because it's going to cost you. I just want you to know that it is going to cost you money to receive your 33rd. It is. Like I said before, some people just have it. They just dole it out. You know, it is nothing to them to give that type of money out, for real. And I'm going to share this with you. In receiving your degree, I'm going to talk about it from my jurisdiction perspective, you know, because I don't want to say what someone else is doing and it's not truthful. So I'm going to speak from my jurisdiction perspective when a person is going through their ceremonies to receive their 33rd once their paperwork has been signed, it's been given out. So in my jurisdiction, the Western Masonic jurisdiction, Ancient Scepter Scottish Rite, once the appending bodies have vouched for you to receive your Scottish Rite, you have to get a signature from the high priest in your jurisdiction. You have to get a signature of the Knights of Templars. You have to get a signature for your consistory. You have to get a signature from the LOP, the Grand Lodge LOP, the Grand Encampment of Knights Templars, the Grand Royal Arch, and I'm missing one. Oh, and also the Shriners. You have to have a letter or something signed in regards to them saying, yes, this individual has made proficiencies in these degrees. He's an outstanding Mason. He's done the work. We recommend that he do receive his 33rd degree. Once that's given, it goes then to the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander. He then takes a look at it. He may have a committee that takes a look at it and say, yes, that brother right there, he'll make a good 33rd. But in receiving your 33rd degree, I noticed that some brothers don't get the right information when they receive it. I was talking to a brother not long ago. Yeah, I'm a 33rd. I said, well, what's the pass? Pass? Yeah, that degree has a pass. And then I said, did you, you know, I asked him some things. You know, I asked him, did you do X, Y, and Z? No, I didn't do that. I'm like, okay, so now I'm pretty familiar with the 33rd initiation according to my jurisdiction, Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2. I have also some other Scottish Rite books that go through the initiation process. So I'm pretty familiar with what's supposed to take place. And when he told me that he didn't receive these items and things and didn't go through these particular processes, I was like, he said, but I'm a 33rd. I said, I can't argue with that. You are a 33rd in your jurisdiction. Truly you are, because that's where you received it at. But what I'm asking you is these fundamental questions when you come across another 33rd. And he couldn't answer. However, because I know this individual, this Inspector General, I know him. I know where his heart was at. I said, okay, let me help you out. And so I proceeded to assist and aid him and give him the information that he needed. He said, man, I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I was like, bro, there are some things you should have gotten. Plain and simple. And you must know, if you want to put out that type of money, I don't care what, it doesn't even matter about the amount. You need to receive something in regards to it. Just because you're saying, okay, you're honorary 33rd, blah, 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 and I gave you $2,000 or $3,000. No, I don't understand some of you brothers. I don't get it. You know, are you that happy? Greetings, brotherhood. Sir Muhammad, what's going on? There is a, what's that? Oh, okay. It is in order. Preparing for the nameless or the infinite truly has a great impact on the order. Desertion. Oh, okay, all right. I'm reading from another thing because I can't really see what's happening in the chat on my live here. I've tried to go back and edit and check it out, but it's not allowing me to do anything right now. I'm just in it. I'm just on live right now. It's not, oh man, it's not allowing me to do anything. So I have to go back and do it from this way. Yep, so I'm all in it. So with that being said, how's everybody doing today? I hope that you're doing well. If you are a 33rd degree and you want to call in and have this conversation, let's do that. And you can, if you think that I'm wrong in what I'm saying, you're 33rd, call in. If not only that, if you are a Master Mason in the appending bodies of the York Rite and Scottish Rite, and you want more information, you want to have a question, call in, because I can't really see a lot that's happening in the chat. But call in. Let's have this conversation, because a lot of people wanting to know the legitimacy of Supreme Council, how they're organized, who's who, and what's what. So we can have this conversation and really help brothers of the craft to navigate, this thing. Because as we know, a Grand Lodge is attached to a Supreme Council. Hear me clearly. A Grand Lodge is attached to a Supreme Council. You may want to ask me, well, how is that? Because when you make up your mind whether you want to go into those appending bodies, it has to be a particular Supreme Council that your Grand Lodge has mutual respect, mutual whatever. They have a letter, they have something going on between themselves. And then you choose to proceed into those appending bodies based upon your Grand Lodge and that Supreme Council. Period. There's no organization higher than your Grand Lodge. And after that, there's nothing higher than your Supreme Council. Period. There are other appending bodies. When I say appending bodies, I'm strictly speaking of Memphis, Mizoram, and primitive rites, and other auxiliary degrees that a person can have as a Mason. There are so many different rites out there, but you're going to have to pick and choose which organization and rites that you would like to be part of. And that again is a beautiful thing. That is really and truly a beautiful thing to be part of. Because what I'm finding is that most of us who go through this process of becoming a Knights Templar, becoming a Sublime Prince or the Royal Secrets, we get there. And what? Are you meeting? Are you holding meetings? Are you understanding that the Knights Templars swore allegiance to Christians, to the Christums? Are you aware of that? As a Knights Templar, for those of you who may be Knights Templar, you swore an allegiance. You did. Go back and read your obligation. You swore an allegiance. The same thing applies to when you get your 30. The same thing applies to when you get your Shriners. Even though it's not a degree, but go back and read and see who you made your allegiance to. You'll be surprised. Go back and read your obligations in your preceding the Scottish Rite works and see what it says. Man, I'm just saying, most of us don't do that, and then you're surprised of the things that you said you would and wouldn't do, and the places you go and would not go, and what you was willing to do with your life. As a Knights Templar, you said that. No, I'm not going to tell you what you said. That's enough. I'm not going to go. But as a Knights Templar, you did swear allegiance to Christian, okay, to Christendom. That's what you did. You will swirl your sword in the fight for a just cause and justice. That's one of the things that you have to do. Okay, the same thing can be said in regards to receiving your 32nd degree. I often say justice is not blind, just those who have the power to issue justice. In the 32nd degree, it's all about justice. You know, it's all about weighing things out. It's all about them scales. You know, it's all about the feather and the heart. But that you'll get there. When you get there, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You see, you be like, damn, okay, for real. 43.99 primitive rights. Is that you, William? For real? Oh, snaps. You got your 43rd and your 99th? Brother Maddox, how's everything going? I'm sorry that I was in Atlanta. I did not get a chance to fellowship with you. I hope that your health is well and that you're doing well. I ran across some nobles who thought Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam were the password in the shrine. Oh my God. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. You run across people who have gotten these degrees and they have no clue whatsoever. They are like just, I don't know. I don't know who initiated them. I don't know how they got the information. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. In my jurisdiction, I'm not, me personally, if I know you're in my jurisdiction, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I can't leave you in a place without giving you the information. I can't do that. In my jurisdiction, I can't do that. If you're any way connected to this jurisdiction, be it if you're in Virginia, Houston, Lafayette, Louisiana, if you're in Memphis, I can't leave you in a position to not have the needed information for when you travel. I can't do that. What type of brother would I be if I just left you out there hanging? That is not the thing to do. And this is what really gets me a lot of times when brothers come up, oh yeah, I'm a this and I'm a that. Okay, let's have that conversation. I'm a this and I'm a that. I'm not saying I know everything, but I know enough of the preceding degrees to say, yeah, okay, all right, I got you. I know enough so when you talk to me, you're gonna know that I've gone through the process. I'm not saying I know everything on every degree, but I know enough in each degree to have a conversation with you in regards to the degree. I made that my personal business to know that. That's me. And I would dare to say, I would encourage you, brothers, to do the same. I would encourage you to know something about each degree if you're in those degrees. So when you're talking about the legitimacy of a Supreme Council, especially your own, you should know its history. You should. If you are a 33rd degree and you are a part of a Supreme Council, you should know its history. How did we get here? Well, there were 7 inspector generals who was part of blah, blah, blah Supreme Council. And they felt it was necessary for them to organize a Supreme Council that would meet their needs because the one they were a part of were not meeting their needs. So they met amongst themselves and they elected these officers: the most puissant, the lieutenant, the prior, the chancellor, the grand minister of state, and it's 2 more. They elected the officers. Once they elected the officers of the Supreme Council, okay, that they're now organized. Now here's the process: where their membership is going to come from. Where's the membership going to come from to support your Supreme Council? That's why I said earlier, Grand Lodges support the Supreme Council. They do. Grand Lodges support the Supreme Council because that's where their members come from. They don't just come out the blue. They come from a Grand Lodge. Hey, Vincent, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Brother Arnold, Omega number 17. No man travels alone. A lot of brothers want the degrees but don't know anything about them. Know what you are doing. Make sure live up to what you are talking about. Taking part of brothers reading. Plain and simple. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to get down. Yeah, that's just that's true. That's just true. That's the charge. You know, and the unique thing is that when you are going into these going to become a 33rd, I enjoy the initiation of a 33rd. I really do, because I would tell you this: the initiation of a 33rd is very special. The initiation of no, the creation of a noble is very special. Okay, I would say that the raising of a sublime degree Mason is very special. I would say that. Everything else in the middle to me is like part of the cake. It is. It's part of the cake. But those three initiations to me is special. And because I've been a part of the degree team for the raising, I love it. I've been part of a creation team for the nobles. I love it. I've been part of the honorary degree of the 33rd initiation. I love it. It's just not handed to you. Have an understanding that although the 33rd degree is an honorary degree, it is not just handed to you. In my jurisdiction, it is not just handed to you. In some jurisdictions, they'll probably say, well, here you go. We thank you. Give me your money, blah, 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 blah. In some, I can't say it happens to all. I'm just saying in some jurisdiction that may just happen where you just go ahead and they just give it to you. But I would tell you in this jurisdiction, you ain't handed nothing. You're going to go through the degree work to get whatever you earn. There will be no skipping to get to the top. Just because you're a master mason, you think that you're ready to become a noble or the mistress shrine? No, you're going to have to go to York Rite and Scottish Rite in order to get to become a noble. That's just how it is. Some jurisdictions don't see it that way. But we want you to have that total experience. What is it for a man to become a mason and then go straight and become a shriner? He knows nothing about the work that he has to put in. He knows nothing about it. Some jurisdiction fits that way. Brothers, Omega number 17, Lodge of Perfection, is deep in the Royal Arches as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just named the degrees that I enjoy, you know. But the degrees of the Lodge of Perfection, yes. What's in that delta, my brother? You know, yes. The Royal Arch degrees, yes. What did you just find down in the cavern? What did you find? You know, and what's written on it? Oh yeah, those degrees are great, but I just happen to enjoy the creation of a noble, the raising of a master mason, and the elevation of a 33rd. I like them. I do. Oh, Jay, you love that Royal Arch, huh? Oh, okay. So you've been up under the 3 times 3 on a living arc. You've been there. You like that. Okay. Not in mine either. I just went through. What? Wait a minute. Brother Williams, you said you just went through what? Which one you just went through? Brother Jackson, how you doing? Welcome aboard. I appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you. Oh, snaps. Brother Gilmore. Brother Vincent. Man, I'm too embarrassed to even say it. Bro, thank you. Thank you, and thank you. For real. Definitely. So, oh man, Brother Gilmore, thank you, bro. You know what? I'll talk to you offline. I'm gonna have to give you a call when I'm done. I'm gonna have to give you a call when I'm done. So you just received your 33rd? So, brother Williams, what did you think of your 33rd? I'm just asking, what did you think of your 33rd when you received it, the process? What did you think of it? You can call me. The shrine is deep too. You are going to get something good out of each degree. Brother, I cannot lie. And I agree with you 110%. You are going to get something good out of each degree. You are going to do that. It's what it is. It's built for that. You are going to get something good out of it. I like that. Let's see. How can I share this live? Got a brother trying to get on. Okay, so what you're going to do, if a brother wants to see this live, he has to go to the YouTube channel, put in John G. Jones Research Lodge 147. It'll pop right up, and he can join. I would definitely say subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. On the bottom left, you'll see an emblem down there. Click that. Subscribe to the channel. I certainly would appreciate it. Definitely would appreciate it. Any information that I share with you, the research on that information has been done by those who are part of the research lodge. They just say, hey, look, take this information, read over it, make sure it's good to go. And I want to give you the best information I possibly can. And then what I want you to do after you've received that information and you watch what I've said to say, go back and research for yourself. Go back and do it for yourself. And then we can have another conversation. I encourage every brother, every sister, if you feel that I've said something that was incorrect and it was out of line, it was wrong, I'd like for you to call me. Tell me. If I'm live, you can say I was watching such and such a show. It said this. That was incorrect information. I'm willing to have that conversation. I'm not saying everything I say is going to be directly on point because of various jurisdictions, but I'm going to give you the best information I can. And I'm going to tell you where to go and get it from. If I don't have it, then I don't have it. I'm man enough to say I'm wrong. But in this case, tonight on this show, right here, this podcast right here, no, I ain't wrong. I'm sticking to these guns. A lot of y'all just pay for your degree, honorary. You just, here's the money. You think nothing of it. You should totally think of why you want to be a 33rd. You should totally look at your Supreme Council as being legitimate than any other Supreme Council. You should know the history of your Supreme Council. As a matter of fact, you should know the history of the Scottish Rite, period. Know the history of the Scottish Rite. Know how it came about. Know that people lost their lives. Know that there was a lot of money being used, a lot of lies going on in the formation of Supreme Councils. I'm absolutely telling you the truth. I'm telling you to pick up Core's Masonic Encyclopedia, 1961. That is one of the best versions that you can actually have in your library. Also, you can go to various web pages and look at their history. Okay? Look at their history and see what they say about their Scottish Rite degree. All right? And go from there. What I'm telling you is stuff that I've done research on, stuff that was given to me that had research done. So I don't want to give you misinformation. That is something I don't want to do. I want you to enjoy the show and have a good time and share what I'm saying. Let me see what I got here. All right. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat. So if you have any questions right now, put them in the chat. I feel like I should have been almost there, but you know. Well, yes, Brother Charles, absolutely. I would say based upon our conversation and what I know of you and about you, you are a unique brother. There are many like you. There are many brothers that are like you who know the work. You know the work, Brother Charles. There's no doubt about it. And you will try, brothers, regardless. And most of them fold because they're not as confident as you are in the works. So when you see a brother who may have higher degrees than you have in Freemasonry, and you have a Masonic conversation with that person, usually, from what I know of you, they fold. They done. They don't even want to talk to you no more because they feel, well, damn, you know, what degree are you? But they don't know that for you, this is something that you put work in. They don't know the work that you put in. So in the process, brothers like you, because there's a lot of brothers like you who know the work, but there are those that are in your jurisdiction, in your lodge. They hold you back. I don't know why brothers get held back. I don't even know why some sisters get held back when they know the work. You know the work, Brother Charles. There are so many like you that know the work, but brothers in your lodge, brothers in your jurisdiction, they hold you back. I don't know if they're terrified. I don't know what their problems are, but it's true. You know, they see a young cat like you coming up. You're hungry. You want to get everything you can out of Freemasonry, and they see you as a threat. I don't know why. I don't know why, because I've said this and I continue to say this. As a Mason, who's a past Grand Master, as a Mason who was elected to the office of the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander, I want to get everything I can and enjoy everything that Masonry has to offer to me, period. Hear me clearly. As a brother of the craft, I want to enjoy everything that Masonry has to offer to me. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I want to enjoy the craft. I want to meet different brothers from different jurisdictions and enjoy the hospitality. Because I tell you this, while I was driving cross country with my Grand Master, when we was in Georgia, Brother Morpheus opened his home up to us, said, look, you don't need a hotel, brother. You stay at my house. You don't need a hotel. You stay at my house. I got you. You tell me. In my heart of hearts, I was like, wow. That right there, you cannot, man, that brother opened his home up to me and my Grand Master as we was traveling across the country, and his family welcomed us in. You're talking about what Masonry is and is not. Man, that's a hell of an experience. Come on. I mean, a lot of us talk about traveling, but to experience it from a brother, look, he's not in my jurisdiction. Let's have that understanding. But for him to open up his home and say, come on in, that says a lot. And he's told me, he said, when I came to Vegas to fellowship with you brothers, I felt at home. And that's how you should feel. When you go places and travel as a Mason, you shouldn't be afraid of another Mason. You should be like if you were at home. That word brother means something. He should treat you as such. He shouldn't treat you like a stranger unless you have worn out your welcome, unless you've done some foul shit. Then I'm going to treat you like a stranger. But if you are truly upholding that word brother, brotherhood, Freemasonry, with no strings attached, that's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say. That's how it should be. I've learned that as I've traveled this year, you know. And I'm going to say this, and to the brothers who came out in Memphis, you know, that brother told me, Jay told me, said, Brother Hawkins, you get to Memphis, I got you. This brother worked a night shift. When he got off of work, he came to the hotel where we was at. He said, I got you, let's go. You know we got to go to the Waffle House. We went to the Waffle House. Yeah, bro. We went there. We ate out. We enjoyed ourselves. They treated us well in the Waffle House. I ain't lying. I could tell you exactly where in Memphis Waffle House, but bro, when we got there, we got seated, and the sisters that was in it, man, they treated us righteous. No doubt about it. I loved it. And then when we left there, we went on to Memphis. I mean, not Memphis, Georgia. Oh, man. Honey and Milk, or Milk and Honey, that restaurant. Oh, my God. Woo. Yes, that's the spot. That is just one of the spots. But, yeah, Milk, I want to say it's called Milk and Honey. It's in Georgia. I love the atmosphere. I enjoyed the camaraderie. The brothers came out. We fellowship. We ate. I got a chance to meet Brother Jackson out of New York. He was there. I had a chance to fellowship with a couple other brothers. They were not in my jurisdiction. Let's have that understanding. The brothers I'm talking about, I fellowship with, they were not in my jurisdiction. These are just Masons who wanted to just like let's do this, and that's the beautiful thing. So when I got to Georgia, and I made the call and hooked up, it was like boom. And Brother Bishop, oh my God, Bishop like set out the table. He did. I couldn't get there in time enough, Bishop. If you're watching this tonight, Brother Bishop, I apologize. I just couldn't get there in time. And to your sisters, I said thank you. For the sister who waited till I got there, till my Grandmaster got there, till Brother Morpheus got there. She waited till we got there. And we had a great time. I just want to say thank you. Brother Bishop, thank you for rolling out the red carpet. Thank you for sharing the information you did. You know, anything that we can do here on this side of the country, you let us know. You know how we're doing. And that's what I've gotten out of it. Oh, yeah, Brother Charles, you do live it. I can't lie. Brother Charles, you live it. You do. Anytime that you can take... True story. Anytime that you, and we talk, Brother Charles, anytime that you and your degree, the degree for which you hold right now, anytime that you can go to another brother and break him down, man, he wasn't ready in the beginning. I'm just saying, he wasn't ready in the beginning. That's for real. You know, so look, I ain't gonna hold you long. I just want to have this conversation with you this evening in regards to legitimate Supreme Council. And who are they? All of them are legitimate. And you're probably like, you're full of this. No, they are legitimate Supreme Council. If your Grand Lodge is connected to that Supreme Council, it's a legitimate Supreme Council. Because that's where you're going to get your 33rd degree from. Okay? That's where you're going to get it from. Nobody can issue a 33rd degree but a most puissant sovereign Grand Commander. That's the only person that has the authority to issue that degree from his Supreme Council. Okay? It has to be from his Supreme Council. My Grand Master received his 33rd from the Northern jurisdiction. The United Supreme Council for the Northern jurisdiction. It was up under the Hispanic Grand Lodge of North America. It was up under their jurisdiction that he received this 33rd. And then he transferred his 33rd to this jurisdiction. It's a true story. He was like, hey, I'm going to transfer it. And he did. And he received his items, those things that we give in our jurisdiction. He was already a 33rd. He just said, okay, I'm going to move from here and go to here. They understood. It was a process, but it was all good. It was all good. So with that being said, as always, I hope that you've gotten something out of this conversation that we've had. If you ever want to call in, I didn't put the number in here tonight, but I should have put the number in, huh? It's too late now. I'm about to go. But look, as always, I enjoy the craft. I love Freemasonry. I love my sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star. I want you, just as well as myself, to get everything you can out of it. And to those brothers who are searching for a Masonic home, if I can be of any help, I'll do what I can. There's a brother out of Mississippi. I can't think of his name right now. He's been reaching out to me to join the Freemasons, and he wants to join a John G. Jones Grand Lodge jurisdiction. And I'm trying to work on making that happen for him because that's what he wants. So, you know, sometimes it's difficult. I'm going to share this with you before I go. We have to stop, brothers of the craft. We have to stop shunning people. I don't care what race they are. If a brother who is Filipino, who's looking to become a Mason, and he chooses my jurisdiction to join and to fellowship with, I'm going to give him that opportunity. I'm going to give him that opportunity. If there's a brother who's white and he wants to join your jurisdiction, give him that opportunity. If a brother is black and he wants to join a white Grand Lodge, give him that opportunity. It's time out. You talk about how beautiful the organization is, but yes, some of you do some foul things. You know, give the person the opportunity to prove to you that they're worthy and well qualified to be in your jurisdiction, regardless of their color. But I'm not blind to say that there is no color in Freemasonry. I'm not saying that. I'm saying give that individual who's seeking membership to your organization that opportunity. That's what I'm saying. He deserves it. He searched you out. He knocked on your door. Give him the opportunity. Plain and simple. With that being said, much love to each of you. And stay out the bushes. Keep your light on. Until next time. By the way, please share this. And tell someone to subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a great day.